Blind Willie McTell, great song. And nobody does it the way that he does, no pun intended. Nobody sings the blues like Blind Boy Grunt. I don't know. Those are two or three of the songs. But like I said, there's not that many that are that come out of his mouth that are that great. It's like the songs for which he's best known were made popular by people who could sing, like Peter, Paul, and Mary or Joan Baez.
What about Knocking on Heaven's Door?
Yeah, no, there's another good one. That's a good one. Yeah, you're right. That would be in my top 5 Dylan favorites. Yeah.
How significant is his work?
Dylan's?
Yeah.
I don't think it's much of an exaggeration to say that he is probably in the top 10, if not the most significant poet of the 20th century.
Better than Robert Frost? I mean, more significant than Robert Frost.
I would argue he's reached a lot more people. More significant? I don't know. I mean, did Robert Frost, was he the voice of his generation? I think Robert Frost was the voice of upstate Vermont and a few, well, not a few, but a good many literary bozos who continue to populate the upper reaches of the publishing houses that pretend to control America's culture in Midtown Manhattan.
What was significant about what Bob Dylan had to say through his work?
I think that Dylan, at least in the early part of his career, was always on the zeitgeist. He was always through speaking his own mind, reflecting that of a whole generation. I mean, I think that one of the reasons that I found him intriguing, in much the same way that I found Nicholson intriguing, is that both of them, through different mediums, of course, but both of them are reflective of what it means to be a male, an American male, in the last half of the 20th century. And, like I said before, I'm a graduate student. I'm a lifelong graduate student. So I have the luxury of and pursue the end of looking at my own life through the prism of these other lives, of these people who are icons of their generation.
Has Bob Dylan's work...
Pardon?
Yeah, I'm still formulating the question. Has Bob Dylan's work explored the things that you have felt most deeply about over the past 50 years? Is he not just the voice of your generation, but your voice?
Mm. Well, he's reflective of my voice. Is he my voice? No. I'm my voice. But I do think that based on his own poetics, that his beliefs, his druthers, his value system, and probably even to some degree his ethics are probably reflective of my own.
Is there a song that he's written that is your favorite?
Well, my current favorite is, I think I may have said this in the very beginning of the conversation. I don't know. I mean, my current favorite is Things Have Changed, which is also the working title of the book. I'm locked in tight. I'm out of range. I used to care, but things have changed.
Are you more or less admiring of Bob Dylan than when you began this project?
Am I more or less I'm sorry.
Sorry. Are you more or less admiring of Bob Dylan than when you began this Bob Dylan project?
I'm neither more nor less admiring. I'm admiring.
What about with Jack Nicholson project? Did your admiring and interest in Jack change over the course of writing that book?
I'm equally admiring of his work as an actor. I don't know, one of the pitfalls in doing this kind of work and doing the kind of book that I try to do is that you discover your heroes have feet of clay. That's not always a pleasant discovery. On the other hand, and this I think is quite important, I think that it's important to understand, and in fact, more than a little heartening, to know that your heroes are as fallible and human as you yourself are.
What's your most important book?
From my standpoint or from the public standpoint?
From your standpoint.
Well, I think my most important book, probably from the standpoint of enlightening the world, if you will,